Hello, everyone. This is Lenard Guzman here with Emily Robinson on the Modern Divorce Podcast. We're here July 18th, 2022. It seems like, hey, it's every other episode this summer. It's like global warming. It's really warm. We're here. I'm here in Los Angeles in the Valley. So it's like, I remember a TV show like said, don't come to the Valley from April to like, or they don't come to the Valley April to like July, which it should be like April to like October.
I know. It's so hot. I
So
know.
I know like in the summer the kids are out, theme parks, this and I think LA County put another mandate up. So does it affect? I know there's a lot of things that come up. So like what comes up with like summer now, like with the kids, and I know child custody is a big thing.
Yeah, I mean there's definitely issues about what summer camps they're going to do and who pays, and do they do a different camp with mom and a different camp with dad? Like, so we're always dealing with that kind of stuff during the summer. Um Obviously if parents can get along and get on the same page, it's better, but that doesn't always happen, unfortunately.
All right, so let's with that. I'm sure something will come up like Disneyland. I know Disneyland's shot up in price. Maybe that's an issue with
Oh
when you
yeah.
you compound that with the inflation, not just here in on the West Coast, but I think the whole, if not the whole world, the United States. So let's get into it. Let's get into the news here with so what we do in this part of the show, we go over the news that's trending on Google. Things come up with celebrities, with financial things that come up, custody, mental health comes up. So let's see what's on the news today. Ooh, Life Hacker. I always like this Life Hacker website. This is the first time it's come up for divorce. So this is a good headline. This caught my eye. 7 deadly sins of divorce.
Oh.
So reads the only sure way to avoid divorce is not get married, but you already messed that up, didn't you? So this is interesting. So the first one is using your children against your spouse. Using children as bargaining chips, forcing them to take sides or using them to hurt your soon-to-be ex is common in divorces, and it's the worst thing you can do. Your children are not getting divorced, you are. Of course, they have a Simpsons thing. This is like a Simpsons theme. If you see the article, it's all Simpson themed. The second one is being overly emotional. Some people maintain that divorce is 95% emotional and 5% legal, but this doesn't account for the complexity of ending a marriage for most people, where the end of your relationship part and the splitting things, equitable and legally part are impossibly intertwined. I'm going fast here because we got 7 of them. I'm so slow
Oh
today.
my
I'm slow. I
gosh.
need an energy drink. Okay, trying to hide money.
Well,
Oh,
it's
okay.
Monday.
So this one has the Simpsons mafia guys on it. The world is full of nudniks. I haven't heard of that one yet. We're gonna have to Google it. The nudniks who think they're going to outsmart the legal system by hiding their assets before they are divorced. This is a bad idea. The specifics vary from state to state, but marital property is generally either split 50-50 or the court's goal is equitable distribution. See, hiring a bad lawyer. Divorce is particularly complicated. Particularly complicated aspect of family law, and you probably can't handle it. While it's possible to get divorced without a lawyer, if there are children, property, or even modest assets involved, even the most, we're still going to be friends. Couples should hire a couple of friendly attorneys. The next one is not listening to your lawyer. It takes a special kind of arrogance to hire a divorce attorney, ignore their advice, but some people do it. But people do it all the time. Okay, acting out of spite or anger, I'll bet someone you know has a horror story about a criminalist divorce in which both participants hated each other so much that they tried to use the divorce to destroy each other's lives by dragging out the proceedings for years.
Wow.
Putting it off indefinitely. It's easy to be sucked into the day-to-day morass of a bad relationship and gradually forget there are other options. But once you recognize that things have become intolerable with your spouse and aren't likely to ever become tolerable again, it's time to pull off the Band-Aid. Last one here, just check out the other ones. So what comes to mind, like when we go through all that?
Well, like every divorce is different. So yes, I mean, a lot of those things are good tips. But not everything has to be ugly and contentious and, but some are. I mean, there's no like one size fits all. So, there's many things you can do wrong in a divorce and many things that may be wrong for one divorce, but work for another. It's really, I think the most beneficial thing about having an attorney is that they can help you strategize what would be best in your case. What's the most effective tools you can use in your specific situation? Because something that doesn't work in another divorce may work in yours. And it may be a deadly sin and destroy another case, but it could be a positive in your case. Because it's very related to your facts and the personalities of the parties in your case. So I don't think you can, make such a generalization like that.
Okay, this one's an interesting one. This is a bill. It looks like, if I'm reading this right, so there's a bill here. It's from mvariety.com. So this is a bill to provide greater clarity in divorce proceedings. So Representative Karina Magofna will introduce House Bill 22-108, which aims to provide greater clarity in the admin of divorce proceedings and protection orders. The bill would require a divorce petitioner to appear in person at a hearing, but the other party could appear via telephone or represented by counsel after the filing of the complaint. Parties unable to appear in person may appear telephonically or be represented by counsel. The bill stated that in an uncontested divorce, current law requires that only one of the parties need to be to have resided on Sapin for at least 7 days immediately preceding the filing of the complaint of divorce. According to the bill, it is necessary to amend this provision to provide clarity regarding the other party, and if appearing telephonically or represented by counsel will comply with the existing law. So I assume this is the U.S. I haven't done my diligence with this, but is this a problem? I assume.
Well, so it's kind of technical. I mean, I don't know what state that's referring to, because here in California, you have to be a resident for 6 months of the state and 3 months of the county that you're filing in to be able to file for divorce in that county. And it kind of sounds like in that thing you were reading, they're talking about 7 days. So that may be a different requirement. Like I know in Las Vegas, it's really short requirement. So a lot of people want to get divorced there because the requirement's different. But that's the rule for California. But both of you don't have to be, only one does. And I think it would present a problem if both of people had to be residents, because when two people live in different states, how are you going to do that? Then no state would be able to divorce you. So that's why it's only one person is required.
All right. So more legal stuff here. This one caught my eye. So this is from businessden.com. Hounding emailed IRS check could cost divorce lawyer her license. So Brent, okay, I can cut off here. This is a paid news website, but this is interesting. I don't know if we're going to get to it. So Brenda Story wants the state Supreme Court to overturn her 1-year suspension. Email shows she badgered a client for money and banked a couple's tax refund. And it cuts us off. But
wow.
How would that work? I know. Sorry. Go ahead. Tell me.
No. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Because I know CPAs and accountants, it's illegal. Like if I do your taxes, I can't. Some people maybe they're struggling financially. I can't have the tax return. I guess remitted, like because everything's electronic. I can't directly get the refund from IRS to my bank account as an accountant. It has to go to the person, and then so I assume this is illegal for a lawyer too, because maybe so I assume is that
yeah, I mean, yeah, a lawyer cannot take their client's funds. So unless you have some prior agreement that your funds can be you can have my tax return, or you can have this or that because you owe me money, then you're wrongfully taking your client's funds. And obviously you'd want that agreement in writing too. But yeah, even if your client owes you money, that's not acceptable to intercept their funds. You'd have to get a judgment for the money they owe and go through the proper legal channels to do that. So taking your client's money inappropriately can be a big problem for a lawyer and subject you to a state bar complaint, or, even possibly criminal charges, depending on what, how bad it is.
Okay, this one's an interesting one, and I don't know where this is going to go, but because of the Roe v. Wade issue, this one's from nwahomepage.com. So, can pregnant women get divorced in Missouri? So, let's see. So this is a Missouri issue. It's an odd query at first blush. Perhaps this was connected to a conspiracy theory. It turns out pregnant women really cannot get divorced in the state of Missouri. Okay, so according to American Pregnancy Association, a nonprofit focused on reproductive health and pregnancy wellness, Missouri is one of the 4 states, so along with Arizona, Arkansas, and Texas, where courts will not grant a divorce if the woman is pregnant. So it's state law covered in Chapter 452.310 of Title 30 under dissolution of marriage. When a person files a petition for divorce, be it the husband or wife, they must include certain information in the paperwork. 8 items specifically. Items 5 specifically states the petitioner must identify whether the wife is pregnant. Is this so? These are new things that come up because of is it because of the Roe v. Wade, or this has been?
So I don't think so. I mean, here in California, you certainly can get divorced if someone's pregnant. That wouldn't be a factor. But it's important to know, because it would lead to the court knowing that the court needs to deal with custody issues and child support issues. I guess maybe there are states that have rules that you can't get divorced while pregnant, but that is definitely not the case in California. There are still, though, presumptions under the law that are pretty, old school. If you're married, and you're pregnant, the child's presumed to be your spouse's child. That's just an automatic presumption, even though we know these days sometimes that's not the case, but that's an automatic presumption under the law. So in California, there are still some presumptions like that, but yes, being pregnant definitely wouldn't stop you from getting a divorce.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I guess people put stuff like it said it was a conspiracy theory thing, or we'll see. So now we have clarity. Okay, let's get into the part of the show where we ask Emily anything, where people will post whether they're starting their divorce journey, whether they have mental health issues or financial issues. So let's get to the first one here. My ex sent me a list of expenses he wants reimbursed for. We divorced over 6 months ago, and he hasn't paid a cent of his required child support. See, just another reminder of how happy I am. He's out of my life as much as humanly possible. There's no question. I think it was just more of a rant.
Well, that's a common rant. I mean, people don't like to pay their child support, and they frequently don't. And it's frustrating, but that's why we are able to garnish their paychecks and also have the Department of Child Support Services that will go after people if they're very behind on payments or, not complying with the orders. At least we have an enforcement system.
All right, the next one. Okay, this one's a getting started one. There's an age gap in, I guess, the divorce between the two people here. I finally had the talk with my husband of 5 years about divorce. It's nothing that he is or isn't doing. My love for him has been fading for a while. And this person says, I believe it's because he is 22 years older than me. And I feel like at 31, I'm just getting into my groove, and I'm doing it completely on. I want to experience more things that life has to offer. He wants to slow down. I can't help but feeling the guilt of wanting to leave, especially because we have a toddler together. I know I blindsided him, and he really wants to work it out. Kind of lost at the moment and just need some advice from anyone who's gone through the situation.
Well, I think that's a common issue where if you have a very large age difference, you're just at very different places in life and you don't necessarily grow together. You may grow apart and want different things. And I think that's very common. Sometimes it does totally work out. Sometimes you do want the same thing, but being that large of an age gap, like 22 years, it makes sense that someone in their 30s is just starting out and someone in their 50s is figuring out, more towards retirement. So, you may not know that when you first get married, but it's definitely something to consider.
All right, the last post of the day here. This is a getting started one. I filed for divorce, but why do I feel like my whole life's over? Why does it hurt so much? Even though I initiated the divorce, we still live together. So watching him go about his day even hurts more. Does the pain ever get easier? I hate that I am uncertain about the future. I heard the dating world is trash now. Will I ever find someone to love me and to love and love me? This is so scary. I'm terrified.
It does get easier, but it takes a long time and it's painful at first, and that's normal. And again, like talking to other people that have been through it, going to support groups, having a therapist, all that stuff is really, really helpful. But you're not going through anything that other people don't go through when they're having a divorce. And there's many people that have been through it that can be, rocks for you to talk to and help keep you grounded and vent and all of that. But it is really normal.
There's also movies like to help you kind of escape, like
that's true.
Jurassic Park, the new one. I don't know. I watched that this weekend. It was streaming, so
yeah,
it brought
was
everyone
good,
back.
Huh? Yeah. No, it was good. Top Gun. I love Top Gun. That was good too.
Oh, I got to see that one. So
that was so good.
So this is becoming the movie podcast. Look, that's all the time we have for today. So thanks so much for joining us on the Modern Divorce podcast, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.